on the tour. However, if you do have a drink, please make sure it has a secure lid. If you have a child whose feet do not reach the floor, please seat them in the middle of the row. If you have a child under the age of 3, please seat them on the lap of an adult. If you look on the outside of your tram, you'll see black row numbers. Please remember these letters because we'll be getting back on these same rows at each stop on the tour. Any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm located at the back of the tram. Enjoy your tour.
You're now leaving the museum and entering the Lyndon B. Johnson Space Center, the home of human spaceflight and home to more than 10,000 dedicated men and women who work here. This isn't an exhibit or a theme park. This is the real thing. I'm Gene Cernan, Apollo astronaut. It is with great pride and pleasure that I welcome you on this tour. What makes the Johnson Space Center special is that the elite men and women who go into space work live and train here. What makes us successful is the teaming of the astronauts and the people who support them. From the largest indoor underwater training facility in the world to the operation of the largest orbital science laboratory, the International has always been on the leading edge of discovery and innovation. I was the last human ever to have set foot on the moon, but not for long. Right here and now, the men and women of JSC are working on a new generation of spacecraft for human spaceflight. It is indeed an exciting time to be here.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills.
John F. Kennedy gave this rousing speech at Houston's own Rice University in 1961. Spurred on by then Vice President Lyndon Johnson, the university had donated this land for construction of a new NASA center. NASA's brain trust and some carefully selected fighter pilots set up shop in these humble buildings. It was built to look like a college campus, to encourage a spirit of collaboration and innovation, a tradition that continues today. We're now approaching Rocket Park. We'll take a closer look at the rockets on the way back. Here's that day.
We were in mission control, testing the Apollo Command and Service Module. The test that day hadn't been going very well. We had problems with communications, we had problems with life support.
A flash fire broke out in the command module. 3 astronauts, Virgil Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaffee, died in the accident.
And we wrote 2 words into our vocabulary in mission control: tough and competent. Tough meaning we will never get.
Building 17.
This building houses the project office for Project Orion, which is America's next generation space transportation system.
Skip Hatfield is the project manager for Project Orion.
In this building, the design work that will ultimately lead to that spacecraft is being conducted. The team here is leading a nationwide group of engineers from across NASA and the contractor community in developing this next generation of systems. It's a really exciting time for everybody involved, and we're all thrilled to be a part of it.
This building also houses the kitchens where the food is prepared for space flights. Space food isn't as futuristic as you might think. The astronauts eat a combination of fresh food like food and breads with some freeze-dried or specially prepared meals like spaghetti with meat sauce. Coming up on your far right is historic Mission Control, home of the Gemini and Apollo programs, Skylab, and all of today's space shuttle missions. Appropriately enough, Mission Control is at the heart of Johnson Space Center.
My job was to take any actions needed for crew safety and mission success.
Gene Kranz was flight director for many of those historic missions. In the movie Apollo 13, Gene was played by actor Ed Harris.
I had a team of between 15 and 21 controllers. These controllers had the responsibilities for the space systems, trajectory operations, planning, facility operations. We had a medical doctor and an astronaut who provided the communications link between the ground team and the crew. As we got down close to the surface, we were running out of fuel. At the time that we touched down, we had less than 17 seconds of fuel remaining, and we were in the process of counting down to a very difficult and very risky by an abort decision. When we shut the engine down and when the crew walked on the surface, we had fulfilled the pledge that we had made as young controllers to our now dead President John F. Kennedy and the crew of Apollo 1.
I don't think you should because you're not very funny. You don't have to make a face. Your face is always hilarious.
Oh, you are so clever. Why don't you do the comedy sketch and I'll just boo you with the rest of them?
Will you do the